purpose of this video is to give you a contrast between the older condominiums available in the market and the new condominiums that are springing out all over the city of Toronto. First of all, when we talk about new condominiums, we have to be a little bit careful what are we talking about. Are we talking about something that's still under construction, or is still on the planning stages, or something that basically has been finalized and already has its occupancy permit? So talking about this, we have to be careful. If it's something that's still on the drawing board or still coming up, still being built, as a buyer you have to be aware that not everything that they tell you on the contracts, on the paper, is actually going to be there. Has been reported in the news many times that sometimes the builder will promise you that there's going to be access, for instance, from the condominium to the subway. Once it's finished, there's no access. Well, there is actually. You have to get out of the building and walk to the station, but there's no underground or indoor access to the subway, for instance. There are all the many different scenarios. The builder could promise you that your parking spot is going to be in the building, but they actually have built in their contracts that they actually could give you a parking space maybe a 2-3 minute walk from your building. So those are the things that you have to be careful with, and that's why today's new construction condos, the contracts are hundreds of pages long, so the builders have all their protections, and you as a buyer, you got to be very, very cautious. Okay, going back to the issue at hand, should you go and buy an older condo? Should you buy a new condo? So obviously, why are you buying the condo? Is something that you want to buy something for a short term or for a longer term? If it's something that you're looking for a shorter term, then maybe a new condo where the price is huge and the space that you're going to get is very small, then it's okay, maybe you want to consider it. But if you think that maybe in several years you're going to need more space, more rooms, then a new condo is not going to get you anywhere, because as you're probably aware, unless you're looking at $1 million or close to it or over that, you're going to be looking at condominiums which are basically 800, 700, 900 square feet. In 2 bedrooms means nothing. 2 bedrooms basically means it's very, very small. That's why if you'll notice that most of the condominiums today, they call, open space, because if they start putting walls, basically people will not be able to move. So this open concept is just basically to mask the size of the new condo. On the other hand, if you take the older condominiums, you really have a lot of space. For instance, you could have a condo going around the $250,000, which would give you maybe 1,400 square feet, and you might be looking at another condo, a brand new construction, for maybe $400,000, and it would be maybe 800 square feet, maybe less. So those are the things that you got to be aware of. So size is definitely a big issue between the new and the old. We mentioned price. You could have an older condominium, the price is going to be very attractive and the space is going to be attractive. On the other hand, the new condo, you're going to get very little space for a lot of money. We mentioned before promises. If you have an older condo, you know what you're getting, you could look at the amenities, you see everything that's there, versus on the new condos, sometimes the promises of the builder might come through or might not. Parking, as we mentioned before, the parking could be in the underground of the building, or the builder might have built within his contract that he might give you a parking spot a little far away from where you are, so you got to be very careful. Also, if you take an older condo, most of the time, I would say 90% of the time, or maybe even 95% of the time, the price of the parking is included with the price of the condo. So basically you're paying for the condo, you're getting the parking spot plus the locker and whatever else is there. Versus the new condominiums, you might be paying $400,000, $500,000 for maybe a 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom, and guess what? You still have to dish another few, maybe $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to get a parking spot. So that's another big issue. Structural defects. An older construction, you see what you have, you'll be able to go and look through the financials and you see all the repairs and everything else, so you have a good history of what has transpired with that condominium. If it's been well maintained, well managed, that's great. On the other hand, the new condos, sometimes structural issues come up. Has been in the news a little while ago, maybe last year. There was a condo, basically all the floors basically got flooded because they had a major water leak from upper floors, and just came down all the way. People decided to move out. They went into hotels, but guess what? They had to pay at the end there from their own pocket because the builder was not giving any warranty on that respect. What else can I tell you? I mentioned before the contracts. The contracts on a new condominium, new construction is huge. If you get your lawyer to look through it, it might cost you several $100s, if not a few $1,000s, because so much paperwork to look through versus an old condo. Basically, you look at the certificate status. Your lawyer will be able to look and see the health of the building, the financial health of the building very, very quickly. And it will cost you very little money for have the lawyer looking at. Another issue which in my mind is important, the old condos are, the amount of units per condo is not that big, so you might have a condo with maybe 200, 250, 300 tops units, versus if you take the new constructions, they're trying to cram as much as they possibly can, so you might have 400 or 500 units, even more. So guess what? It becomes very, very populated. So if you want a little bit of privacy, you might really not get it. How much private outdoor space do you have on the new construction? If you look at a new condo somewhere in downtown Toronto or the new condos, you'll see that land is so valuable they will not give you much of space outside. So maybe you might be able to get a little bit of, maybe a few bench spaces to sit or something like that, but on the other hand you're not going to have a lot of space to move. But on the other hand, they take the older condominiums, a lot of them have a lot of land, so you're basically able to enjoy the outdoors. A lot of them have outside pools, swimming pools, so it gives you a lot of the opportunity to really enjoy the outdoors. Amenities, as we mentioned before, the older condos have, a lot of them have amenities. The new ones, they might give you a exercise room with a few machines and so on, but really I don't know how much more can they afford to give you there as far as space is concerned. So whatever I mentioned, this is basically my feeling. If you have any other questions, you feel to call me or send me an email. I'll be glad to speak to you. Thank you so much.